Hi everyone. It's been quite a while since the last video. We just had a lot of snow days here, so I had kids at my house, and one of my children was, both of my kids got ill, and so I've just had a lot of extra people around the house, and I don't get a lot of quiet time when that happens to do things like videos. So I had several clients bring up several topics today for a video, but one thing that I get asked about a lot is my altar. And of course, these are extremely personal, and there's, as many different ways to set them up as there are people in the world. So it's all just really personal choice and convenience, and the things you need to work on and the things that are important to you. I tried to squeeze you in here so you could get a little bit of a shot of mine. I have a million photos of my altar on my Facebook business page, which is Conjured Cardea, and also my blog, which is conjuredcardea.blogspot.com. So if you want to see photos of my workings, there is, okay, maybe not millions, but there's probably 1,000. So I guess I'll start by walking you through a few things that are on my altar and why they're important to me, what their purpose is, and yeah, so we'll start with that. So I have candles on here, of course, all of my Navania candles. I'm going to try to squeeze you in there. I always keep one to the Infant of Prague or Niño de Atocha to represent Elegua. I always petition Elegua first every morning, especially Mondays. Today is Monday is his sacred day, so today is the Monday. I always light his candle first because he is the doorway, he is the gateway Orisha to speak to the others. He's the messenger. So he always gets lit first, and then I always dress him with oil. I do that for all of my candles that I light. And I would say in general, just for my own purposes of being a spiritual worker, I will light between 4 and 6 candles a day, just to keep the energy flowing of my work, and in honor of the spirits that are welcome in my home and that I work with on a regular basis. So the prayer candles or the Navania candles, once they start burning down, it's hard, it can be a little difficult to dress the top, so I just drop the oil down there. I have my shelf of oils back here. They're all oils that I make myself, of course. And I have my money seed jar, or my seed money jar back here, which is filled with beans and shredded money, and I burn a candle in there which promotes steady work and prosperity of the household. And when I speak of prosperity in the household, it's not I'm not just speaking about money. I'm talking about a prosperous and abundant household. So that is abundant in health, abundant in blessings, abundant in happiness, and abundant in peace. Those are the main things that I pray about in the morning when I am putting a new candle in there, which I put one in there probably every few days. I guess it burns down, and I dress it after I put it in there, and I let it burn down. And those are the things that I'm focusing on. So it's not just usually when I speak about prosperity, it has very little to do with money, and I will specify that if that's what I'm talking about. So I also have, this is my gree bag, which I have had since I've had this exact bag. The insides, of course, have been refreshed and changed over the years, but I have had this exact bag since I was probably 11 or 12 years old. My mother gave it to me, so it was the first one I ever had. So yeah. So that's very dear to me, obviously. I keep a jar on my altar with 2 very large lodestones in there. They're probably the biggest ones I've come across, because anytime I find ones that big, I usually keep them for myself. Once in a while I'll sell them, but I'm kind of a jerk like that, where I'll keep the good stuff for myself. If I have a client inquire about a really large lodestone, of course I would sell what I had, but Flowers, fresh flowers. I don't know if you can see. I have carnations here and chrysanthemums today. I just purchased some flowers this morning. Right now it's winter here. I'm in Michigan, so we do not have. I don't have fresh flowers in my garden right now, unfortunately. But in a few months that'll change, and I needed to get some not chrysanthemums, but carnations because it's almost impossible to buy dried carnations online, and I need the petals in my work. Some of the oils that I do that are like emergency work oils might come to me, oils, things like that. Carnation petals are a really important ingredient because like clove, they speed things up, but you have a little bit different energy because it's the petal and not the seed. So anyway, I have to purchase those and dry them myself, which I prefer to do anyway. I would rather have it that way than buy them dried online because I don't know where they're coming from if I do that. So if I can grow things and dry them myself, or at least buy them from a local retailer where I know things are locally sourced, or at least I know where they're sourced from, I always do that. So I have my Keiko. He's right here. This is a Guatemalan folk spirit or folk saint. He carries his bags of necessities. So these would stand for, your food and your car and your work and your house. He's got all those little things attached to him. And he makes sure that your household is blessed with the things that you need. So his offerings are cigarettes, of course, and usually on Tuesdays is when I light his cigarette, and I do offerings to him. Tuesdays are his day. So I have him. I have usually I collect decks of cards. This is the one on my altar right now, so I'm just showing it to you. A friend brought these to me. They're very, very old. I think they were, I don't know, it's probably the oldest deck I have now. Before this, it was a 40-year-old deck, and I'm pretty sure that this one is about 70 years old or 80. So, yeah, so I have these right now. I usually have a deck on my altar, so I can, if I have a question as I'm doing work for people, or if they want a reading in their consultation before we begin, I have them handy and accessible. And of course I'll get out a different deck if I'm called to, but I always keep one here just in case. If I have any spare time or anything, I'll go through and just refresh my skills and whatnot. So I have a cup. I collect carnival glass. This is a piece of carnival glass. This has Jack Daniels in it right now for Elegua. I try to give him rum or whiskey. And so that is always filled. Most of the time it's just filled with water for the spirits, because they say the spirits are always thirsty. So it's always proper to have a glass of fresh water and change it out daily. It's not hard, it takes 2 seconds, not a big deal. So keep that on there. I have my Hyjon roots. I have 3 very large Hyjon roots that I've had for a lot of years. I keep these, I don't know, these are my friends, these are my buddies. I've had them for so long, and they've always been on my altar, and they're just they're who I work with first, depending of course what kind of root work I'm doing. Obviously if I'm, it totally depends. I might need a Beth root for something else, or a galangal root, or whatever. There's a lotus root. There's probably a dozen roots that I work with, but those are typically my go-tos. I have a tiger eye skull here that a friend gifted me, and my Marie seems to really enjoy it, so I keep it there for her. Plus, tiger eye is I like the iron content in it for protection, and tiger eye is also supposed to stimulate prosperity and abundance. So it's a nice thing to have on the altar. My Marie statue, which is right here, I brought her back from New Orleans a couple of years ago when I went, and she never moves. She always stays there. Once in a while I will rearrange the altar and exchange some of my statues. I have another altar here, but she always remains so, because I pray to her every day. So she's one of my rocks. My Madama statue also always stays. She's always there with her basket. I refresh her basket. Right now she has a lot of dollar bills and roots. She's got a calamus root here, a lotus root. She's got a string of Job's tears. She's got a die in here, a large buckeye. Well, it's called a jack ball, but I call it a Jill ball because jack balls are supposed to only be for conjure men, and I'm not a conjure man, I'm a conjure woman, so I call mine Jill balls. Those are used for divination. That's kind of a little known thing. I'm gonna start selling those in my shop soon, and maybe even do a video on how to make one. I've got a kundong in here, some prayer cards, some foreign money. A lot of my clients from other countries will send me money in their form of currency to use as offerings, and my husband also has a lot too from his travels. He's traveled pretty extensively, so he has a lot of coins and things that he gives me to put on my altar as offerings. So I have my chicken feet. I have 2 chicken feet here. This one has extra toes, so it's supposed to be extra lucky. Marie seems to enjoy these, and I use these in my work also to enhance the power of some of my work, and also if I'm doing compelling work. These are a useful aid in that. I have pieces of brick from New Orleans when I went there that I keep next to her. I have some large alligator teeth, which are promote luck and prosperity. Try to get it so it's not in the white. I have a Marie Laveau button that a customer sent me that I keep next to her because I thought that was really sweet. That was a really sweet gift. A lot of things I have on my altar are gifts from clients or friends. I have wonderful friends and family and clients that send me things that I'm very grateful for, and they're unique things that I wouldn't buy myself or that I couldn't obtain myself. So it's a very nice thing to have. I have a hand-rolled cigar here for Marie. So I actually have a cute story about that. When I was in New Orleans and I stopped at her grave to pay honor and respect to her and leave her offerings, my husband kind of blocked the way so I could have just a couple moments privacy with her, and I left her a cigar and a few other things. I actually don't remember right now. I'm sure some with some money, maybe some flowers I bought. I think I bought her a bottle of perfume also. But so I left those, and when the tour guide was coming through, he stopped and he was pointing out how you could tell a devotee had been to the grave and what were just offerings left by tourists. And he pointed to my offering specifically, saying that that was a clear sign that a devotee had been there. So that was very sweet of him, I thought. So I felt good. I had like a little pat on the back from Marie. I shouldn't say that, that's prideful, but you know what I mean. So I have a little brass cup here with a bunch of stones in it. My lapis, somebody was asking if I work with stones. I work with stones. I used to a lot, healing wise, when I was younger. I don't so much anymore. It's just, you know, spirituality it's an ebb and flow. It's a constant change. It changes for everybody all the time. What you were doing last year, you might not be doing this year, and what you're doing now, you might not be doing next year. So it's good not to tie yourself down to something. You know, you're going to learn new things and experience new things, and you're going to let some things go and retouch on them later on. So these are, let's see, there's pyrite here, bloodstone, seraphinite, cat's eye, related quartz, petersite, lapis. It looks like a big garnet is in there. And a piece of mukai that a neighbor gave me. So those are little gifts people have given me and things to bring prosperity and abundance. This is my working altar, so anything that I have on here for prosperity and abundance is for prosperity and abundance of my clients mostly, because this is where I do all of their work. So this is all for them basically. It is of course for my spirits and ancestors also, but this is where I do my work. And some people have a separate worship altar and a separate working altar. For me, as a professional root worker, I do so much work. I'm usually booked for at least 2 appointments a day, one in the morning and one at night, for a service of some sort for a client. And for me, as often as I work, and this is such a huge part of my life, this is my life, I don't feel the need to separate them, and I wouldn't really want to anyway, because this is just absolutely so ingrained in who I am. and what I do, and yeah, so I don't separate them. That's not necessary for me. I used to when I was younger, but now since I'm working at it 12 hours a day. This is it for me. So I have a large piece of jet, which is to absorb negativity. I keep that there for my clients who come to me with their issues. I have a St. Michael candle right now for protection. I've been doing a lot of protection work over the last week for clients, so he's there for them. I have a St. Pancrazio statue. He ensures success and abundance in business, so he's there. My husband and I both work for ourselves, so it's very important that we take time to focus on manifesting abundance in the fact of clients, or in the way of clients, because that's what we need. We have 2 children and of course a house just like everybody else, so I do keep things on the altar to remind me to think about being grateful for everything that we do have, and to also think about the future, and getting new clients for the both of us and things like that. I have a pyramid here of malachite, which I love. I've had this piece for a long time. It's dear to me. And I love malachite. That's one of my favorite stones. I love the copper in it because the copper is a good energy relayer. So I really love stones with copper in it. So malachite, I think this is one of the reasons I love it so much. I have an agate evil eye carved out of agate here for protection. Let's see, I have a few money cowries right now. Cowries are everywhere all over my house, but I left these for Marie. There's just some little money cowries, very simple. My censer, which I use for all my incense, for all of my rituals and my daily offerings. Pretty basic stuff. And I think I've covered everything that's on this altar right now. So there's a couple of other candles on there just for protection. Like I said, I've been doing a lot of protection work over the last week for clients. So I do have an offering plate out here with some bread that I baked yesterday and some ginger root to give energy to the workings that I've been doing for clients. All of the offering plates I use and all of the tablecloths that I use, I change out the plates daily, obviously, for offerings. And the tablecloths I always get from antique stores or garage sales or yard sales, because I like to buy the vintage linen ones, and I like to buy old mismatched plates that are vintage and antique to use as my offering dishes. That's kind of a personal aesthetic, but I just really love the feel of them, and I love the way that it brightens up my altar. I get kind of tired of seeing altars that are so dark and dingy, and it's just like, some wood hammered together and there's like wax melted all over it and everything's dirty and it's dark, it's in a dark corner, and I think it really turns people off and it scares people away. If clients want to see photos of what you do and where you work, something dark and dingy is not super appealing. It wouldn't be appealing to me. You want your worker to have pride in their space and to show that they put care and time into the items on their altar, down to the simplest things of tablecloths and offering plates, because though those are simple, they're very important to the spirits. It's important to show that sign of respect, that here's a clear, clean space, and plates and dishware that is designated specifically for you because I honor and respect you. Yeah, so that about covers that. I hope that answered a few questions out there. This video was really long today, sorry. I hope you guys didn't get too bored. And visit my shop. It's www.shop.conjuredcardea.com. I have lots of fun stuff there. I also have a full line of rootwork services if that's something that you're interested in, and I also do readings. So I hope to hear from y'all soon. Please feel free to leave comments, and I hope to be doing another video very soon. Y'all take care. Ashe.